Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome to my Friday tarot chat. Lovely to gather on this day with friends and especially those of you that have been part of the previous two tarot affirmation sessions. I hope that you enjoy the process today just as much as you did the last two times. And if this is something that you are interested in developing in your own practice, I encourage you to look back at the previous two sessions, both in the comments as well as in the live stream itself, because there are some beautiful, beautiful affirmations that were offered by a multitude of people. So yeah. So this is what we're doing today. We're using the tarot cards to inspire, create a sense of empowerment, comfort, and whatever it is that you need on this day. So welcome to everybody. For those of you that are new, my name is Sadhana. I am an intuitive reader and healer, and I'm here on Fridays to talk about tarot cards and my process in working with the tarot itself. And so what we're offering today is a little bit different, and this is a method of working with tarot that is accessible to everyone. It's a lovely process, a lovely experience. And what I want to say is, like, doing single card draws as readings can be quite intimidating for some people. Learning to read the tarot can be quite intimidating. But using tarot cards intuitively to look into the pictures, to look into their wisdom, is a really beautiful process. And so please join in the conversation today, and let's have some fun. Get your journal out, have a pen. I think it's really good to write this down, especially if you're coming up with an affirmation, and you may want to have a tarot deck on your table if you have one, and just spread it out. We're going to start with the Hermit today. I'll tell you the cards that we're going to use today. Might not get to all of them. We'll do Hermit, Wheel, Tower, Justice, maybe Five of Pentacles. Actually, I would like to do that. I also have, what is this buried over here? Oh, Strength. Maybe we'll do Strength as well too. Okay. Also today, great excitement, we will have the draw. Last Friday, I did a special tarot trivia challenge. We had a little bit of a party in celebration of 4,000 subscribers to my channel. Also honoring the many of you who have joined my channel at a membership level. So you're paying a monthly fee, and I want you to know how much I appreciate you for that. So there will be 3 draws today, one for a 30-minute session with me, one for the Cheimonette Tarot, and one for Oracle of Echoes. And the 2 decks I will mail out. And if you are the recipient, all you need to do is email me. So either through the website or simply info@integrativehealingwithsadhana.com, and I'll mail that to you. Okay. All right, so let's start with the affirmations, and we'll take 3 short breaks during today's session, and we'll draw for each of those. Okay. Now I want to talk a little bit about this deck here, which is a deck I have never worked with. It was gifted to me for my birthday in August. And this is one of the cards that I pulled out of the deck. Now, this is kind of an unusual, actually, let's just wait. I want to talk about each of these cards. The deck is called the Alchemistical Tarot. It's called the Alchemistical Tarot. It is a deck that has an extra suit. Interesting, because I was saying that with the Ally Man last night. The Ally Man has an extra suit. It has an extra suit of ether, and I will definitely dive into it. It reminds me a little bit of the Moonchild Tarot, and I don't really think it's my aesthetic. However, this card is really, really beautiful. Let me say hi to those of you that are here, and I hope that Janine can come back and join us once she drops off her son. Welcome to Joel and Donna and Mira, Merlin's daughter. Hello. Hello to Dee and Diana. Lovely to have you here. Okay. So, Hermit energy. A very different feel with the two cards that are on the table. One is in the night. I feel either it's snowing. It feels like it's snowing to me. This is from the Fountain Tarot. And this is from the one I just shared with you, the Alchemistical Tarot. Sun, night. So what is the experience of the Hermit, and why is the experience of the Hermit so very powerful? This is not a deck I use very often, but I have to say, this is from the Everyday Witch Tarot. There's a few cards in this deck that really resonate with me, and this is one of them. The solo fire experience, using solo fires as a means of diving deeper into one's mystical experience, diving deeper into one's spiritual journey. And so the Hermit, I really feel with the Hermit, while we don't see movement in every card, there is an aspect of journey to this. There's quite a bit to this card. Journey is one. Pilgrimage is a great keyword for this card. And the ability, the confidence, the understanding of how important it is that this is indeed a solo journey. Because if it's not a solo journey, you are not going to encounter all that you would. You're just not going to see all that you see, all that you hear, feel, sense, experience. People aren't going to approach you in the same way. The pilgrimage, the solo pilgrimage is so important. And so today we are inspired, not that I pulled a lot of cards for this one, but inspired by these cards. Embrace this energy and write your affirmation. Write your affirmation in the chat. If you're watching the playback, please write your affirmation in the chat. And for me, this is really personal right now. I haven't been on a pilgrimage for some time, and of course, this card means a lot more. And if you're picking up on something else, please go ahead and write about that. But I'm really feeling that energy. Now, I am committed on my morning solo walks. Amber is with me, granted, so she is a bit of a distraction. Sometimes she needs me, but no music. There's nothing. There's just me and the ocean, or me and the forest. So that is part of my daily hermit practice. Being solo, silence. These are just such important spiritual qualities. And so what I want to affirm personally here is my commitment. And I want to say within the next 12 months, because I don't want to shoot any further ahead than that. I want to commit within the next 12 months to an international pilgrimage, because this is very much part of me filling my cup. And whilst I will meet other pilgrims along the way, and I have 2 destinations in mind, it's time. It really is time. Now, the other aspect of this card that feels so powerful to me is the guru energy. And this is symbolized by the light, by the lantern. Guru is the dispeller of darkness. And if you just focus on that for a moment, and sitting with your inner guru, or sitting in the presence of a spiritual mentor, can be a very, very powerful thing. I just want to say, go back. Oh, Janine is here. Lovely. Okay, welcome to Helen. Now let's see who else is here. Tammy Ann is here. Welcome to Tammy Ann. And then, okay, so here we go. All right, so we already have Donna joining in. I am comfortable and happy in my own company. Beautiful. Janine has created a 2020 by journal with different spreads and pulling a card from each deck. The Hermit was a stalker card. I pulled 6 Hermits, so I will look forward to watching this later. Wonderful. Great. All right. Well, safe drive with you and your son. We'll see you when we see you. Okay. And from Mira, I am such a wonderful person to be with. I am not only safe, but I am empowered in my own company. I am closer to God in my solo-ness. Yeah, that's the thing for me, and that just sends a lot of vibrations through my body. Let me tell you the other decks here. This is from the Stunning Tarot. And this looks a bit like a Fool card, but there's something really magical here. Also, in this deck, the purple coloring represents the suit of wands. So I'm seeing this as the light here. The Hermit is also seems to be, there's a bit of energy here and a clearing of the path. This Hermit card on the far right is from the Sun and Moon Tarot. And I did actually do a little bit of research. I was trying to figure out if this was a mantra or if it, and I have asked a few people who read better than I do. And I have never got the answer to that, but I really like this card from the Sun and Moon Tarot. Let's go to Helen. All I will ever need is within me. I also want to offer something here. You know how because there is a connection in Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork with the Fool and the Hermit, with the mountain. And while the Fool travels light, the Hermit carries nothing with him. And that's something that I'm picking up from Helen's comment here. All I will ever need is within me. I don't need my tools. I don't need my tricks. I don't need my stuff. I love that. Let's go to Mira again. I am such a wonderful person to be with. Okay, so Donna has added something to hers. So I'm going to read this here and then we'll skip down. I am comfortable and happy in my own company in total silence. Beautiful. And from Dee, the solo journey, a walking meditation. Gaze, consider, contemplate. And also consider the fact that this is a number 9. So this is a very spiritual number, the number 9, the 333. There's a sense of completion and wisdom to it. And I believe at some point along the way, I think it might have been in the Margaret Peterson deep dive, and it was inspired by Margaret Peterson. And I had this aha moment of the energy of the Empress, the 3, being the Empress is the mother, And the 6, the Lovers, being the Maiden, and the 9 being the Crone. And so there's also this sense of wisdom and inner wisdom that is built in here. And I know that we do see in the Hermit cards some maybe Sasarai Bito. There may be a couple of others where we see an older, wise crone woman. Yeah. Hello to Vange. Welcome. All right. So Donna is referring to a project. And this is a project I shared live on YouTube where I joined my Soul Cards 1 and Soul Cards 2 and made them into a tarot deck. And if you haven't seen it, this was an amazing project. These are my cards. And so I wrote on, this is the 5 of Cups card, 6 of Cups. I wonder, Donna, yeah. I have shuffled and done a readings, a few readings with these, so I can't find my Hermit. So you will find your Hermit. I had a few different options for Hermit, I remember. I'm glad that's supporting you. Yeah. Dee is definitely our post laureate. Yes, she's very, very poetic. Poet laureate, not post laureate, poet laureate. Let's go to Vange. Vange, hello, Clovis. I find myself within my light and shadows. Namaste. I would say, well, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. I don't know of another triple. However, so in the Hindu pantheon, the trifecta is, so Vishnu is the sustainer, Shiva is the destroyer, and Brahma is the creator. So there's that trifecta. But I don't know one that represents youthfulness, midlife, and old age. I don't know if there is one. Christina Nanda, hello, namaste. Donna, I've had those decks for years and haven't used them. Yes, it is. It's a very liminal experience. Okay, let's go to this comment. I almost used the card you used for the Hermit, but I decided on the older man with the torch. Ah, okay. Yeah. The King of Wands for me was very, a few of them were, I knew exactly, like there was no switching them around. Christina Nanda, I've used my Soul Cards Tarot more in the last few months than I ever used them the entire time they were Oracle decks. Yeah, they're now. They're right here. They're on my rack. All right, so let's go on to the next one. And I want to read, we're going to do the wheel next, and I'm going to read to you a little bit from Alison Cross. I don't know if you all have the extra guidebook for the Wildwood Tarot, but I thought I would share with you some of Alison's words because it's really beautiful. This is the Lily White Tarot. This is the Wildwood, and this is the indie version of the Anna Kay. Okay. I really do like the elder that we see in the background here. All right, so I want to turn the wheel also in the Wildwood Tarot is a marker for the autumnal equinox. So seasonally, this is a card of now as well too. And if you have a year in the Wildwood, I'm reading from page 109. in the version that I have. The wheel represents all cycles of change, from the great wheels, the cycles of the seasons, the orbits of the planets and the heavens, right through the small wheels, those personal cycles of our own actions and their consequences. Everything changes all the time. Just as love spins down from a dizzy madness to something slower, settled, and mature, so grief's sharp spokes are slowly softened by the passage of time and our acceptance of loss. Sometimes we are too close to the center of the wheel to see the changes on the rim, too deeply involved to see the wheels moving within wheels. We can be too close to the stitches in the garment to see the blessing in the disappointment or the fleeting nature of success. The wheel asks you to accept that change is inevitable, but also see how you can change the pattern of the garment by changing your own small cycles. You don't need to keep repeating the same story. At any time, you can cut the threads, change the pattern, and create a new garment for yourself. You carry the scissors and the threads at all times. Don't worry. The weaver does not approve or disprove. She simply creates the garment according to your pattern. You can change the pattern. How about now? Do you want to change something about your life right now? How will you change the patterns in your life that you no longer wish to repeat? Thank you, Allison. There's a few wheel cards that I adore. This one is really beautiful. It's quite similar to the one in the Wildwood, not the Wildwood, the Wild Unknown Tarot. I like that one a lot as well. And I love that this particular card brings in the Weaver. The Weaver is such a powerful archetype. And I think we need to remember that whilst there are many things going on in the background that we have no control over, we, in our small way, as long as we commit to participating in our journey, we have a lot of influence how things are going to play out. And it's only when we succumb to victim mentality, or we lose our flame begins to die, that we lose that power, that empowerment of moving forward. And don't forget that in the Golden Dawn system, the wheel is connected to fire. And without that level of self-esteem, it's very difficult to embrace this card. So I don't tend to read this card as you're about to win the lottery kind of thing. But it's important, I think, to contemplate this, the fire behind this card. All right, let me return to the chat. Oh, it's a great book. Okay, now where are we at? Okay, I'm going to go here to Donna. I am appreciative and grateful for all of the changes and cycles in my life, understanding that they all are ultimately for my highest good. Beautiful. Helen, and thank you all for putting a title in the front of your affirmation. That really helps. From Helen, I flow with change and allow myself to transform with seasons and cycles of life. Ooh, I like that. I flow with change. I flow with change and allow myself to transform with seasons and cycles of my life. I do. I honor the cycles of life. And through connecting and celebrating and participating in the natural cycles of life, my own journey flows with ease. And this is something I have come to know. This is something I know without a doubt, that the more I embrace the natural cycles of life, the more my life flows with ease. Joel, when things accelerate, I jump on that ride with deep trust of life cycles. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. All right, I will leave the wheel cards there and we will have a draw for the first prize. Helen, I'll share yours, or Donna, I'll share yours in a moment. Okay, I'm just going to star that one so I know where I am. All right, so we're going to draw. These are the prizes that were offered last Friday. And this is the draw for the 30-minute session with me. And you simply need to contact me and we will set up a time. This will be a Zoom meeting, unless, of course, you live locally, which I don't think anybody in this bowl lives locally. And you are open to extend the time. If you want to extend the time, just let me know. And my rates are on my website. They're staying the same until the new year, until January. And what else do you need to know? This can happen at any time. There's no rush to use this. You can put it on the shelf for a little while if needed. This could be a tarot reading. It could be a coaching session. It could be a tarot tutorial. We could sit and have coffee and just chat, or a glass of wine. So entirely up to you how you use this 30 minutes with me. Okay. And so this is for 30-minute session with Sadhana, and I'm going to shuffle. Okay, I need to hold it up. And the recipient of the 30-minute session is Sharon. It's Sharon, Trio of Witches. Congratulations, Sharon. All right, let's go back. We have a few more wheel affirmations here. Donna, the older I've gotten, the more I've realized that you just can't push the river. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, D. Accepting how close the end or beginning of all might be. The wheel. Ooh, lovely. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And congratulations again to Sharon, Trio of Witches. All right, so now let's go to, so that's done, that's done. All right, now this is a very interesting one, and some of you might be very uncomfortable with this, but I'm going to share a story I know I have shared before. I'm going to talk a little bit about these cards, and then I'm going to share a personal story. This is the Five of Pentacles. This is a slow tarot. This is dust to onyx. And this is the wildwood. And I want to talk a little bit about the card in the dust to onyx card. This was a very influential card for me. When I first got this deck, I sat with this card actually quite a few times. Now this is a collage that is the center of the collage is a photograph by an Italian photographer. And this is a boat here in the center. And all these little dots are people. And this is a boat of refugees moving from the African continent to the European continent. And this photograph was taken, of course, in the Mediterranean Ocean. And here we see the boat moving from Africa to Europe. And the five pentacles are in the water behind. And so sometimes and I think this fits really beautifully after the wheel card. Sometimes when there are great changes necessary in our life, we need to make a choice to leave certain things behind. We can't take our homes with us, unfortunately. We're not turtles. Perhaps language is left behind in the home country. Culture is left behind. Maybe there's certain ingredients in food that won't be available when we move on this journey. But no matter the circumstances of this journey, we know in our hearts that we've committed to this journey and that it is for our greater good. And I don't think I've ever seen a more powerful Five of Pentacles than this card. You can Google, his name is M-A-S, Massimo. Anyway, it's a very easy photograph to find. And if you'd like me to put a link to it in the description box later, I can do that. This one reminds me a little bit of the Hermit card in the Everyday Witch Tarot that we were just looking at. And then we've got the lightning over here. Sometimes we need to go out into the cold. We need to know what it feels like to not have everything with us. And in a way, these cards, the first three cards anyway, that I've chosen for today, they have, there's something linking them together that's very potent. In the slow tarot, we have a head down view. So here is a cup. Looks like it actually has coffee in it. And the rain is colored. And we see the top of the head of someone who is begging. The first time I returned from India, I'm just going to do that. The first time I returned from India, I was deeply affected by those who have chosen a life of begging. I'm not talking about children or other people who have been taken or their parents have sold and perhaps they've been maimed and put on the streets. I'm not talking about that situation. I'm talking about people who choose to sit around outside the temples and live a life of simplicity. And yes, the money that they receive will feed themselves, but some portion of it will also stay within the temple grounds. And I had a lot of profound experiences connecting with and sharing money, sharing coins with beggars. And when I came back to Canada, I was living in Whistler at the time. There was a woman who walked a tremendous distance from a campground where homeless people gathered to the village. It was a long journey, undulating, lots of uphills, and she would walk to and from the village every day. And I was just going at the beginning of my divorce, and there was just a piece of me, part of me, that knew that I could be her. That could be me. That could so easily be me. And I just felt, I don't know, so that instance was very powerful me because I was seeing her through different eyes. And I really do that. I have a different perspective of those who've chosen to be in this situation. And I think we need to remember that, a lot of times it happens. What I want to say, a lot of times the choice doesn't appear to be a conscious choice. But I think most of the time, there is an unconscious nudge from spirit that this is happening. It's absolutely necessary to be the situation. Um, I really like this card. I think this is a really big card, and when it comes up in a reading, it just prompts so many powerful conversations. Mhm. So, for part of me is understanding. So, here's a couple of my affirmations. I honor the need for simplicity and those moments, those days, those weeks, those months, or years where I find myself with less, and know that and honor that those moments are indeed for my greater good and very much a part of my personal evolution. All right. Material possessions, jobs, status are not our valuables in life. People are. And the other piece about this card that always gets me is the light. And we must remember that there always is a light somewhere that we can move towards. And sometimes we just don't see it. But we need to trust. We need to trust that that light is always there. There is a Buddhist story about people who incarnate as beggars in order to teach us compassion and generosity. Mhm. I have met some very profound. I've had some very profound experiences connecting with beggars, and I don't find myself afraid. And also, I want to say that I have been. Um, I have been what would be a good word for this? I have succumbed to uh, deceit. So I can think of two instances where I fell for something, right? So this was actually a scam. Um, but because I have been through that experience, I know a little bit more. And so on my travels, I feel like in the future that wouldn't happen again. Yeah. Fives. I want to expand on this a little bit. So fives are the middle point of the journey of the suit. And so with these cards, fives are also inspired by the shaman, the hierophant. They are inspired by a wise one, and there can be a resource, a mentor to help with this journey. These bridge cards are defining. They're life defining. And so when I find myself with a reading that has a 5 or multiple 5s, I honor the journey and know that this too shall pass. But I envision a suspension bridge sometimes with my hands on the sides of the suspension bridge. And I know that I have the skills to cross. And I have the strength within me to cross through this time. Yeah. So a really difficult card. And I think if you are doing an affirmation practice and you select a challenging card, that this exercise can be really powerful. And I wonder if there might be a pause needed here to understand, because I pause. You might need to pause on the bridge. You might need to pause on the journey to really sit with the card. Because isn't the tendency when if we're doing a single card draw and we draw a card like this to go, oh, well, I think I'll pull another one. I'll pull a clarifier rather than sitting with it. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do justice. So in Libra season, I have been working with a few different themes, working with the number 11 and looking at different aspects of balance. Last week in the Tuesday readings, I was looking at the balance of hold or keep. There's an aspect that there's a like nurturing something that is still very much part of our journey, and then the release, the letting go. So keep and let go. And when we're talking about justice, we're talking about the scales of justice. We're talking about karmic shifts that are in our highest. The card on the left is from the Slow Tarot, and it's actually called Balance. And I think a very important concept with this card as well, too, is reciprocity. And that reciprocity may be with nature itself as a big capital N. It could be with, something quite close to home, something that we can do to bring balance to our own environment. And right now, where I live, we're having issues with water. There is a water shortage. And my little neck of the woods, we have a very high water table. We have our own aquifer, and I'm blessed to live with somewhere where water is not an issue. But just kind of down the road, so to speak, it is an issue and has been for some time. And I am mindful of that. And last night in the Facebook group, Kenton, who is one that participates every Wednesday night in our chats, had to sign off early because his home was flooding. His kitchen was flooding. And what was running through my mind was, oh my goodness, like water is out of balance. Where is the fire? Like metaphorically, why is there a flood? And there's something about this card that gets me looking at the elements and wants to understand, to look at the big picture. There's always a big picture here. This particular card is from the Baba Studios Alice Tarot. And I find this very, very poignant. The words that are in the back of the card are from, I don't know if I can read it, Furry said to a mouse that we met in the house, let us both go to law. I'm sorry, I can't read it because it's hard to read on the gold paper and I have a shadow here. Such an interesting depiction. And this is from the Spacious. And this metaphor I use all the time when I'm trying to teach, explain things, and how every action has a ripple, has an energetic effect. And so my relationship with this card is really understanding that every action, no matter how menial, every thought, every word does ripple out into the environment. And so I must be gentle. I must be gentle with my words. I must be gentle with my thoughts. I want to say, use them sparingly. You know, I just wonder, in your neighborhood, in your community, what that brought into balance. Doesn't it make you wonder that? Because it wouldn't happen if it didn't need to happen. So I'm just at this point in my life where all of this mystifies me. It absolutely mystifies me, and I honor balance. As all of you know, this is such an important theme in the tarot. And yes, I'm sorry, I didn't offer compassion, Donna. My first thing is to go into the metaphors of it. So thank you, Mira, for offering compassion. Flooding causes so much damage, right? It's horrible. Often floors have to be replaced. Drywall needs to be replaced. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So yeah, sorry about that, Donna. And at a time when you are less than, your physical body is run down, when you're sick. So you might like to think about those layers together. Okay, sorry. Now I need to turn. I would really like to make an affirmation here for this card. And part of me on my journey is starting to recognize when things are out of balance sooner, so that the ripples aren't quite as chaotic as they used to be. So when I feel sick, I use my hip story, right? You heard my hip story, my COVID hip story. There's something there, and that was me ignoring something that was out of balance. And so I got hit with COVID. COVID came upon me. I moved through the energy of COVID to heal. Okay. I don't know if I can say this poetically, but this is what I want. This is the gist of it. When I ignore, when I turn my back upon an imbalance, I thank Spirit for restoring balance. And this is a hard one. This is a hard one because sometimes justice doesn't feel like justice, right? Okay, you're all very quiet with these last two cards. These last two cards have been difficult ones. So think about a small imbalance. Let's go to Helen. I notice and honor the consequences of my actions, words, and energy. And if I don't, I won't get angry at spirit for doing it on my behalf. Let's go to our poet. The unmitigated truth is fair, but not kind. I am a light worker, fighting hard to balance the massive injustice in the world. I honor the big picture. Yeah. All right, let's do another draw. We are at 51 minutes. This is the draw for Oracle of Echoes. And I'm going to shuffle my bits of paper. Okay. All right. I'm going to go up here again so I can't see the names. I only folded them in half. And the winner of Oracle of Echoes is Jennifer H. Jennifer H. So Jennifer H., please email me as soon as possible. You are the winner of Oracle of Echoes. Congratulations. Okay, let's do one more before our final draw. Okay. So many good cards on the table here. You know what? I think I want to keep poking a little bit because you've been very quiet with the difficult cards. So I want to do this, okay? I want to talk a little bit about the vulnerability of this Tower card. This is Lily White Tarot. The elk has shed its rack, found itself in forest fire. And this large beast is in this difficult place of change and is had to let go of something which is quite a natural, right? It's a natural life cycle. There's something about this particular Tower card that gets me every single time, and it has to do with being open to vulnerability. Now, I have quite a few very different cards here. This is the Abyss Tarot. And we see the importance of a strong foundation. This is the Primordial Tarot. We cannot, like the story of the three little pigs, right? The foundation of a house is very important. Foundation is important. And there's a lot of different stories, myths, metaphors that have been brought into the wisdom of the Tower card. But this theme that I want to empower, that I want to bring forward today is one of knowing that you can endure the journey. You know, you are, we are all stronger than we think we are. Now, I wonder how this person is going to get down. They may have climbed up there, but you ever done that? You've gone on a hike and you've traversed something, or you have gone through I can't even remember what they're called, when you're going through a very narrow thing, and you make your way up, and then you get up there and it's like, oh my God, how the heck am I going to get down? I'm And then the attitude of the witch in this particular card, the everyday witch, sometimes we recognize that it is up to us to blast it down. The tower is it's a really important place, and it is indeed part of the natural cycles of life. Everything has a what's that expression from Ecclesiastes? The season. Who's our Bible expert here? Can somebody put that expression from Ecclesiastes into the chat? I think that's a really good one that we can bring into the energy here. And I'm just referring to the primordial tarot, and I'm going to go to the tower here, and which is called the Standing Stone. Someone builds a tower, a grand edifice. They climb to the top and marvel at their achievements. Then they see the view on high and are struck dumb with awe. The perspective shows that the horizon is much further away than imagined, the world bigger and more complex than dreamed. While humans can do amazing things, the truth is that each elevation of intelligence and skill reveals more questions and problems. And I think too, this takes us back to another theme that's been hitting me today, is one of simplicity and the importance of simplicity. These questions and problems drive us to search for answers and solutions, and sometimes our creations topple under their own ambition. Sometimes our creations topple under their own ambition, and sometimes they are destroyed by other forces. Wow, this is very cool. I'm thinking of Donna's flood, Kenton's flood. If only we could see. Wouldn't that be cool if we could see, if we could know the big picture always? That would be amazing. Thank you, Donna. Yet sometimes they stand to inspire others. We progress, we move forward, and we see that we still have so far to go. Again, this is a favorite card of mine. I love this card. I do not fear this card. I want to go to D. We are knocked down, but we get up again. This is the Dharma story, right? Maybe not in this lifetime, but one day we will stand in a simplistic way. You know, their Japanese dolls are called Daruma dolls, and they knock over when they get up. Knock over and they get up. Helen. I welcome destruction and let the source clear out the way. Beautiful. Donna, you like this card as well too? Yeah. And Helen likes the card as well too. Yeah, it's kind of amazing, actually. Kind of amazing. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today for this This is the third time that we've done this. And so if you like this practice, please go back and look at the other videos. They are linked in the description box below. We still have one more draw. And this is for the winner of the Cheimonette. No, that is not how the creator pronounces it. She says Cheimonette, I believe. If or when I do a deep dive of this tarot deck, I will get the pronunciation right. But it is definitely not Cheimonette. She says it in a different way. And I have a feeling it's Cheimonette, but I could be wrong. All right, so regardless of how it is pronounced, here we go. All right. This one has the most little bits of paper in it. All right, and the winner is in my hand now. And it is Adii. The winner of the Cheimonette Tarot is Adii. Adii. So, thank you. So our three winners, I'm just going to repeat. So the winner of the 30 minutes with me is Sharon, Trio of Witches. The winner of the the Oracle of Echoes is Jennifer H. And the winner of the Cheimonette Tarot is Adii. So thank you. Ooh, Donna's birthday is on the 16th. That's kind of powerful. All right. Well, beautiful souls, it's this wraps up my week. And of course, I'll be back on Tuesday. And everything should be fairly on schedule next week, barring any complications. Usual times, usual places. Live readings will be at 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Lenormand will be before that at 11 a.m. We're still in our deck deep dive of the Herbcrafter Tarot. And if we are in a third week, whoa, that candle is a little out of control. We will be going to 10 a.m. And I'll endeavor to get all these thumbnails up a little bit earlier so you know when the videos are coming up. I'm going to do part 2 of my Alley Man next week. And if you missed that, that was another fun little project. So yeah. And then next Friday, I don't know, big surprise. So there's lots of, if you have requests, never hesitate to send me a request, a message. If there are decks you would like me to review, if you want to do, somebody said, let's do another trivia, I'm happy to do another trivia. That's kind of fun. So just let me know. Donna, you take good care of yourself and get better. And hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday. And if not, please rest. Please rest well. Okay. Mira, you're so welcome. Thank you, Dee, and thank you for your beautiful poetry. Okay. Have a lovely afternoon, evening. Rest well. Okay. See you next week, everybody. Namaste.